The year was 1945. The world, wearied by the devastation of World War II, was about to enter a new age, dominated by fear and the potential for unparalleled destruction. This was the dawn of the nuclear age, ushered in by the creation of the atomic bomb, a weapon unlike any the world had ever seen. It was a weapon capable of annihilating entire cities in a blinding flash. In the decades that followed, the world watched with a mixture of awe and terror as the United States and the Soviet Union tested these terrifying weapons. Each mushroom cloud that climbed into the sky served as a stark reminder of the immense power we now wielded. This is the story of the atomic bomb, a story that demands to be told and understood if we are to navigate the challenges of the nuclear age. At the heart of a nuclear weapon lies the atom, the fundamental building block of all matter. Within the atom's core, the nucleus, reside protons and neutrons, bound by the strong nuclear force. There are two main types of nuclear weapons, fission and fusion. Fission weapons, like the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, work by splitting the atom. Fusion weapons or hydrogen bombs are even more powerful. The energy released in a nuclear explosion includes a blinding flash, thermal pulse, shockwave, and ionizing radiation. The birth of the atomic bomb can be traced back to the dark days of World War II. With the specter of Nazi Germany looming large, a group of scientists gathered in the United States to undertake a project shrouded in secrecy to build an atomic bomb before Germany could. This top-secret endeavor, known as the Manhattan Project, brought together some of the brightest minds in physics, chemistry, and engineering. They toiled tirelessly in secret laboratories scattered across the United States, driven by the belief that their work could hold the key to ending the war. On July 16, 1945, the culmination of years of research and development took place in the desolate desert of New Mexico. The world's first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, detonated with a force equivalent to 20,000 tons of TNT, forever altering the course of human history. The New Mexico desert became the stage for a terrifying display of scientific prowess on that fateful day in July 1945. The Trinity test, the culmination of the Manhattan Project's efforts, unleashed a force never before witnessed by humankind. As the first atomic bomb detonated, it unleashed a blinding flash of light visible for hundreds of miles. The searing heat vaporized the steel tower on which the bomb stood, leaving behind only a crater of molten sand. A shockwave ripped through the desert, knocking down observers stationed miles away. The mushroom cloud climbed miles into the sky, carrying with it radioactive debris that would spread across the globe. The Trinity test was a success, but it was a success tinged with a chilling realization. Humanity now possessed the power to destroy itself. The nuclear age had arrived, bringing with it both promise and peril. Just weeks after the Trinity test, the world witnessed the devastating consequences of nuclear weapons firsthand. On August 6, 1945, an American B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, dropped an atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. The bomb detonated with a force equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT, instantly obliterating much of the city and killing an estimated 80,000 people. 3 days later, on August 9th, a second atomic bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on the Japanese city of Nagasaki. This bomb, even more powerful than the one dropped on Hiroshima, exploded with a force equivalent to 21,000 tons of TNT, killing an estimated 40,000 people. The devastation in both cities was unimaginable. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain the only instances of nuclear weapons being used in warfare. They serve as a stark reminder of the horrific human cost of nuclear war and the urgent need to prevent such atrocities from ever happening again. Following World War II, the uneasy alliance between the United States and the Soviet Union quickly dissolved, giving way to an era of geopolitical tension and mistrust known as the Cold War. At the heart of this conflict was the nuclear arms race, a perilous competition between the two superpowers to amass ever larger and more powerful nuclear arsenals. Driven by fear, paranoia, and ideological differences, the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a dangerous game of one-upmanship. This arms race led to the development of increasingly destructive weapons, including thermonuclear bombs and intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. The threat of nuclear war loomed large, casting a long shadow over the globe and shaping the political, social, and cultural landscape of the era. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, highlighting the fragility of peace in the nuclear age. The development and testing of nuclear weapons have left an indelible mark on our planet, contaminating the environment with radioactive materials. From the deserts of Nevada to the atolls of the Pacific Ocean, the scars of nuclear testing are a stark reminder of the devastating environmental consequences of these weapons. Each nuclear explosion releases a cocktail of radioactive isotopes into the environment. These isotopes, some with half-lives of thousands or even millions of years, can contaminate soil, water, and air, posing long-term risks to human health and the environment. The testing of nuclear weapons in the atmosphere, particularly during the 1950s and early 1960s, led to the widespread dispersal of radioactive fallout. This fallout, carried by wind currents, contaminated vast areas of the globe, exposing populations far from test sites to harmful levels of radiation. Even underground nuclear tests, while containing much of the immediate radioactive fallout, have not been without environmental consequences. The environmental legacy of nuclear weapons testing underscores the need for responsible stewardship of our environment and the importance of pursuing a future free from the threat of nuclear weapons. The human cost of nuclear weapons testing extends far beyond the immediate casualties of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Exposure to radiation from nuclear tests has had devastating and long-lasting consequences for countless individuals. Ionizing radiation, released in large quantities during nuclear explosions, can damage DNA, the blueprint of life. This damage can lead to a wide range of health problems, including cancer, birth defects, and genetic mutations that can be passed down through generations. In the aftermath of nuclear tests, many people, often unaware of the invisible dangers they faced, were exposed to dangerous levels of radiation. Downwinders, those living downwind from test sites, were particularly vulnerable, as were indigenous communities living near test areas. The health effects of radiation exposure can take years or even decades to manifest, making it difficult to establish a direct link between exposure and specific health problems. The human cost of nuclear weapons testing underscores the moral imperative to address the legacy of nuclear testing and to work towards a future where such suffering is never again inflicted upon humanity. The legacy of nuclear weapons is a complex and multifaceted one. It is a legacy that continues to shape our world today, influencing international relations, military strategy, and the very fabric of our society. The threat of nuclear war, while diminished since the end of the Cold War, remains a very real and present danger. The existence of thousands of nuclear weapons, many on high alert and capable of being launched within minutes, poses an unacceptable risk to humanity. The proliferation of nuclear weapons to additional countries remains a serious concern. The more countries that possess nuclear weapons, the greater the risk of these weapons being used, whether intentionally, accidentally, or as a result of miscalculation or miscommunication. The vast sums of money spent on developing, maintaining, and modernizing nuclear arsenals represent a significant opportunity cost. The legacy of nuclear weapons underscores the importance of dialogue, understanding, and a shared commitment to creating a safer and more peaceful world. Despite the challenges, there have been notable successes in reducing the threat of nuclear war. International treaties and efforts have limited the spread of nuclear weapons and reduced global arsenals. The NPT, effective since 1970, has prevented the spread of nuclear weapons. Signed by over 190 countries, the NPT commits states to disarmament. START 1 and 2 led to significant reductions in US and Soviet nuclear arsenals. The new START Treaty in 2010 further limited deployed strategic nuclear warheads. The CTBT, adopted in 1996, bans all nuclear explosions. These treaties show progress is possible when nations work together. The future of nuclear weapons is uncertain. But one thing is clear: the choices we make today will have profound consequences for generations to come. We can choose to continue down the path of nuclear deterrence, a path fraught with risk and uncertainty, or we can choose a different path, a path towards a world free from the threat of nuclear war. Achieving a world without nuclear weapons will require a fundamental shift in thinking, a recognition that our security is interconnected and that true security lies in cooperation, not confrontation. We must strengthen international norms against the use and possession of nuclear weapons, making it clear that these weapons are unacceptable and have no place in the 21st century. We must address the underlying causes of conflict, such as poverty, inequality, and resource scarcity, which can fuel tensions and make the use of nuclear weapons more likely. The future of nuclear weapons is in our hands. Let us choose wisely. Choose